ॐ नारायणं सुरगुरुं जगदेकनाथं भक्तप्रियं सकललोकनमस्कृतं च त्रैगुण्यवर्जितमजं विभुमाद्यमीशं वन्दे भवघ्नममरासुरसिद्धवन्द्यं नारायणाय परिपूर्णगुणार्णवाय विश्वोदयस्थितिलयो नियतिप्रदाय ज्ञानप्रदाय विबुधासुरसौख्यदुःख सत्कारणाय वितताय नमो नमस्ते नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये हरिः ओम् ॐ देवं नारायणं नत्वा सर्वदोषविवर्जितं परिपूर्णं गुरुंश्चागीतार्थं वक्ष्यामि लेशतः लक्ष्मीनारायणं नत्वा पूर्णबोधान् गुरूनपि कुर्मः श्रीकृष्णगीतायाः भाष्यादुक्तार्थसङ्ग्रहम् Good morning. This is the weekly Pratipadartha, where today we are looking at shloka number 28 from the 11th chapter. So far, the journey till the 11th chapter is that we have seen quite a significant transformation in Arjuna, no doubt about it. The first six chapters, Arjuna's predominant question was, tell me what is good. No, yena shreyo hamapnuyam. So that's the kind of a question that we kept on hearing from Arjuna. Tell me what is good for me, O Krishna. After the sixth chapter, the question started turning a little more intelligent, and that's clearly a sign of transformation. So now we are in the 11th chapter where, with a series of successive set of questions from Arjuna, to begin with, in the 8th chapter, he was asking, how should we think about you, right? How should one contemplate upon the Bhagavad Tattva? And then very beautiful explanations that came from Krishna, which covered both the chapters of chapter 8 and 9 of the Bhagavad-Gita and little bit of the 10th. And that is where he started asking an advanced form of that same question. Okay, what all different bhava in which should I think about you? What are the different experiences, that are different manifestations around me through which I should be able to see you? I should be able to think about you. So that is where we see the Vibhuti Yoga, a detailed set of examples that Krishna gave. And also he cautioned Arjuna, these are not limited. My Vibhuti Rupas are unlimited. There are many, many. Na antah asti mama Vibhuti nam divyana. So there are many more, but the 70 examples that were given with a very, very specific intention. And then we come to the 11th chapter where Krishna has been asked by Arjuna, "Oh Krishna, if you think I am worth it, please show me your form. Please show me your full form." And that is where we are, right? So from the 15th shloka, after Krishna has granted him the divine vision, from the 15th shloka, we keep seeing Arjuna, expressing what he saw in Krishna. Pashyami Deva, Devan, Pashyami Devan, Tava Deva Dehe. I see all the Devaganas. Sarvan Satha Bhuta Vishesha Sankan. And I see all the Vishesha Bhutas, in your Deha, Tava Deha, in your Deha. Brahmanamisham Kamalasanastham, the lotus seated, Brahma and the Ishvara and Rishimsha Sarvan and the various all rishis and the Uragas, all the serpent like creatures, Divyan, those that are divine in nature. I see all of them, O Deva. And then Aneka Bahu Udaravaktra Netram, I see many, many arms, many, many stomachs, many, many eyes. Pashyami Tvam Sarvataha Ananta Rupam, and I see you, the Ananta Rupa, everywhere, spread everywhere, the infinite Rupa spread everywhere. So Bahu is the one that upholds things, protects things. Udara is like stomach, the basically the the place where everything gets digested, where the energy for the entire creation is getting fueled from, right? Udara. Vaktra is the face, the place where the field in which every activity is taking place, and Netra is the ultimate perception, right? Na antam na madhyam na punastava adim. I can't see the end. nor the middle, not again your beginning, O Deva. Pashyami Vishveshwara, Vishwarupa. No, but I see you, O Vishwarupa, O Vishweshwara. I can't see the beginning, the middle, nor the end of your form. Kiritinam, Gadinam, Chakrinam cha. No, I can see the the ornamentation, Kiritinam, Gadinam, Chakrinam. I see the Gada and the Chakra in your hands. Tejo Rashim Sarvataha Deeptimantam. The big orb of fire, taking a big arc kind of a shape. And Pashyami Tvam Durniriksham Samantat, but I am unable to see you properly. It's so getting so difficult for me to look at you. Deeptan Ararka Dyutima Prameyam, the kind of blazing light that was never seen before. Twamaksharam Paramam Veditavyam. You are that Akshara, you are the ultimate to be known, to be understood. Tvamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam, and you are the ultimate resting place for this Vishwa. Tvam Avyayaha Shashvata Dharma Gopta, you are the immutable, unchangeable, eternal protector, the custodian of the Dharma. Sanatanastvam, you are the Sanatana, the eternal. Purushaha, you are the eternal Purushaha. Mataha me, this is my opinion. Like, and then 19th shloka, Anadi Madhyantam Ananta Viryam, without any beginning, middle, and the end, an endless virya, right? Ananta Bahum, the endless, the infinite Bahu, Shashisurya Netram, the eye, which has both Shashis and Surya's Prabhava, no? Pashyamitvam, Deepta Hutasha Vaktram, I can see you with the blazing light in your face. Swatejasa Vishwamidam Tapantam, and only by your light that the entire universe is glowing and also getting perspired. Dyava Prithivyo Ridamantaram hi. The distance between the Dyavloka, the Diviloka, and the Prithvi Loka. Vyaptam Tvaya Eka Ena. It's all consumed, it's all pervaded by you alone. Dishascha sarvaha, and also all the directions are pervaded by you. Drishtva adbhutam rupam ugram tava idam, and having seen this, the ugra rupa, adbhuta ugra rupa of yours, lokatrayam pravyathitam. No, the three worlds are getting worked up. Mahatman, O Mahatma. Amihitvam surasangha vishanti. All the surasanghas are entering you. No, those all the sura sanghas, the pack of suras, kechit bhitaha pranjalayah grananti, and some of them, completely trembling, are folding hands and worshipping you. Swasti iti uktva maharshi siddha sangaha. All the maharshis and the siddha sanghas, keep saying swasti, swasti. Let good happen. Stuvanti tvam sutibhi pushkalabi, and while saying that, while saying swasti, swasti, they keep praising you with amazing, flowery praises towards you. Right? Rudra, Aditya, Vasavaha, Yecha Sadhyaha. All the Rudras, all the Adityas, all the Vasus, all the Sadhyas, Vishwe, Ashwino, all the Vishwadevas, the Ashwini Devas, the Marut Devas, the Marut Ganaha, Ushmapascha, and also all the Pitras, Gandharva, Yaksha, Asura Siddha Sangha, and all the Gandharvas, all the Asuras, all the Yakshas, all the Siddha Sanghas, Vikshante Tvam, they're all gazing at you. Vismitaha cha eva, in complete astonishment, in all complete amusement, survey they all. Rupam mahatte bahuvaktra netram, this mighty form of yours with multiple vaktra netra, multiple faces and multiple eyes. Mahabaho bahubahurupadam, O Mahabaho, with also so many different bahu, uru, pada. Bahu Udara also, Bahu Damshtra Karalam, and also many, many sharp teeth. Drishtva Lokaha Pravyatithaha. Having seen all of this great form of yours, this entire world is getting worked up. And also me, Tatha Aham. Nabhasprisham Deeptamaneka Varnam. The one that is touching the sky with this multi-hued form. Vyatananam Deepta Vishala Netram. With the spread out face and glowing netra, glowing wide eyes, drishtva hitvam pravyatitantaratma, having seen you, looking at you, who spread out, O Antaratma, Dhritim Navindami Shamancha Vishnu. I can't gather Dhriti, the stability, nor can I gather any Shama, any peace of mind. Damshtra Karalani Chate Mukhani. No, your mouth, which is having this sharp teeth, Dristvaiva Kala Anala Sannibhani, and looking at this, which has the effect, which has the look of the Kala, the Antya Kala, Anala Sannibhani, and also the glowing light. Dishona Janena Labheja Sharma. I can't, I've lost the sense of direction, right? I can't get any sense of direction, nor can I get any peace of mind. Prasida Devesha Jagannivasa, O Devesha, O Jagannivasa, bless me. Right? Ami Chatvam Dhritarashtrasya Putraha Sarve Saha Eva Avanipala Sankhaihi. All these Dhritarashtra's sons, along with the various kings, rulers of the earth, Bhishma, Drona, Suta Putraha Tatha Asau, this Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and also along with all the Saha Asmadiye Rapi Yodha Mukhyehi, and also along with so many of my side's warriors, great yodhas from my side. Vaktrani te tvaramana vishanti. So all these people are turant at once. They are all entering you. Damshtra karalani bhayanakani. They are entering you, your mouth, which has got these sharp teeth and frighteningly sharp teeth. Bhayanakani damshtra karalani. Kechid vilagnaha dashanantareshu. Some of them are getting stuck in between the sharp teeth. Their muscles all completely skinned out, peeled out. Sandrishyante churnitairuttamangai. And I also can see some of their amazing body organs getting completely crushed, in that space between the teeth. This is where we stopped, right? This is the very terrifying kind of a picture that Arjuna could see while he saw the Vishwarupa of the Bhagavan. Today we will begin from shloka number 28. So Shraddha ji has provided the link. When we click on that link, we directly come to shloka number 28. Harihi Om. It reads like this. Yatha nadina bahavo buvegaha samudramevabhimukha dravanti tatha tavami naraloka viraha vishanti वक्त्राणि अभिविज्वलन्ति यथा नदीना बहवोऽम्बुवेगाः समुद्रमेवाभिमुखाद्रवन्ति तथा तवामी नरलोकवीराः विशन्ति वक्त्राण्यभिविज्वलन्ति. The Padacheda for this shloka, when we scroll down a little bit on this website, the Padacheda says, Yatha nadinam bahavaha ambuvegaha samudram eva abhimukhaha dravanti. So there are a few sandhis. Bahavaha ambuvegaha, bahavombuvegaha, eva abhimukhaha, eva abhimukhaha, abhimukhaha dravanti, abhimukha dravanti. Tatha tava ami, tavami, naraloka viraha, vishanti vaktrani abhivijwalanti, vaktrani abhivijwalanti. That's another sandhi. When we put them back in a proper prose order, we get this. Yatha nadina bahavaha ambuvegaha samudram abhimukhaha eva dravanti tatha ami naraloka viraha tava abhivijwalanti vaktrani vishanti. What does that mean? We see the dictionary for that. Yatha nadina bahavaha ambuvegaha. Like how many rivers with, having with many speeds, gushing, rushing into the waters, like how many speedy rivers, samudram eva abhimukhaha dravanti, are entering, are rushing towards the samudra alone. Like how many rivers with, with many great speeds are entering the samudra alone, entering the sea alone. Tatha ami naraloka viraha. Similarly are these naraloka viras, the brave men, the heroes of this world. Tava abhivijwalanti vaktrani vishanti, are entering your mouth, many mouths of flame. Like just like how many rivers with great speeds are entering the ocean, very similarly many of these heroes of the world are entering your many blazing mouths. That's precisely what this shloka is telling. Basically, continuing from the previous shloka, where he was telling that, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, along with many kings in their side, and also along with many of the warriors in my side, I can see them in your mouth getting stuck between the teeth with their bodies skinned out, with the muscles all out, with the bones getting crushed. He can see a very gory kind of an image. Now he's telling more and more people are coming. They're all entering your mouth. They're all entering your blazing mouth, just like how the rivers are flowing, right? Rivers are flowing into the ocean. Now, that's another interesting thing, right? We need to take a pause for a moment and imagine how the rivers could be entering the ocean. Now, the rivers, initially they start with tiny droplets from the hills. Every river, it starts small, very small. More such droplets gather momentum, and then small stream starts flowing, and many such small streams, they add up, and then kind of, it leads into big rivers flowing. And these rivers have a very happy journey. When we imagine the rivers, they look like souls having some very happy journey, meandering through various hills, passing through many valleys. They just pass through many different places. And if we were to see an estuary, a point of estuary where the rivers enter the sea, it's unexpected. There is a lot of turbulence happening at the point of the river entering the sea. The point at which the river enters the sea, these points called the estuaries, there is a lot of turbulence. In the daytime it's more soft water, in the evening time it's more salty water. The sea water enters the river enters the sea. There is a lot of tug of war happening, but nonetheless, the river has is entering the sea, and from there, its course of flow is completely halted. It is in fact facing a lot of resistance back from the sea. The sea is pushing more water into the river, while the river is trying to push itself into the sea. Both of the things are happening. The course of its speed is completely halted, and the river has become one with the sea. After a point in time, it's completely become one with the sea. So most of our journey perhaps begins the same way. We begin in a very small, humble way, and then more and more momentum keeps getting gathered around it, and then we will have some very happy life, pravrutti life, and we will be meandering through multiple paths. Bahavaha. Nadi is also aneka marga pravritta. Like, they have multiple paths, and there are also many tributaries to the rivers. Like, so it keeps getting added. Our life is also very similar. And then at the end of the day, we are all entering that ocean. We are all entering that Bhagavanta's mouth. Just like how he saw the previous shloka, Drona, Bhishma, Sutaputra, and all the various Avanipala, Sangha. They're all entering, right? So that's basically the picturization. No matter how small we begin, and that's how small we all begin, just like how the rivers, and we keep gathering momentum. We keep going through different paths, meandering through different directions, and finally our destination is all the same. No matter whether it's Ganga, Yamuna, Godavari, Sindhu, Saraswati, at the end of the day they all enter the same big mighty ocean. Akashat patitam toyam sagaram pratigacchati. Everything has to go finally to the sea, and that's why we say sarva deva namaskara keshavam pratigacchati. Everybody's action, everybody's namaskara is basically, it's the work done for the sake of Bhagavan. Namaskara, in a more practical sense, while bowing down, shirasa, manasa, urasa, all our actions are for the Bhagavan. That Shashtanga Namaskara, when we see, basically offering everything for the Bhagavan. So Sarvadeva Namaskara Keshavam Pratigachati. So whether the rivers come from Ganga or Yamuna, Godavari, Sindhu, Krishna, Bhimarathi, wherever, Gandaki, they all eventually enter that big ocean. On the east side, on the west side, on the northern side, on the southern side, wherever the ocean is, at the end of the day, all the ocean bodies are connected. They all enter that big one water body. Right? So similarly, just like how the rivers get into that ocean, all the people are eventually entering you, O Bhagavan. This is Arjuna's depiction. Let's see what Aurobindo interpretation says. As is the speed of many rushing waters racing towards the ocean, so all these heroes of the world, of men, are entering into thy many mouths of flame, O Bhagavan. Right? Very, very simplistic. Let's see what the next shloka says. We click on next on the right hand side top. Harihi Om. यथा प्रदीप्तं ज्वलनं पतंगाः विशन्ति नाशाय समृद्धवेगाः तथैव नाशाय विशन्ति लोकास्तवापि वक्त्राणि समृद्धवेगाः यथा प्रदीप्तं ज्वलनं पतंगाः विशन्ति नाशाय समृद्धवेगाः तथैव नाशाय विशन्ति लोकाः तवापि वक्त्राणि समृद्धवेगाः. Let's see the padacheda for this. यथा प्रदीप्तं ज्वलनं पतंगाः विशन्ति नाशाय समृद्धवेगाः तथा एव नाशाय विशन्ति लोकाः तव अपि वक्त्राणि समृद्धवेगाः. Few sandhis there, but we will put these words back in a proper sentence. That's what we get in Anvaya, right? The section just above Padacheda. यथा समृद्धवेगाः पतंगाः नाशाय प्रदीप्तं ज्वलनं विशन्ति तथा एव समृद्धवेगाः लोकाः अपि नाशाय तव वक्त्राणि विशन्ति. Very beautiful. Let's see what it means. We see the dictionary. Yatha samruddhavegaha patangaha. Just like how the moths, the patangas are the moths, the swarm of moths with ever increasing speed. Okay. I'm a moth, who just wants to share the light. I mean, there is a song from Radiohead, where he says this line, I'm a moth who just wants to share your light. The moths are always attracted towards light. And when they approach nearer and nearer to the light, they keep increasing the speed. They come faster and faster, towards the light. So similarly, that's what he's explaining. Just like how these moths, the swarm of moths, you know, they come with an ever increasing speed. Yatha samruddha vegaha patangaha nashaya, for the sake of their own destruction. Pradiptam jwalanam vishanti, they enter the pradipta jwalana, into a burning fire. So whenever the moths see light, they get attracted. And the more and more they enter the light, they are attracting their own death for themselves. They enter into the fire, just to attract their own death. Tatha eva samruddha vegaha lokaha. Similarly, is this speedily moving world, or the nations, or the worlds, lokaha, bahuvachana, these speedily moving worlds, api, also, even, nashaya, for their own destruction, tava vaktrani vishanti, are entering your face, are entering your jaws, are entering your mouth. Okay, mouth of doom. Okay, so two shlokas, right? Previous one, just like how the nadis enter the ocean. Okay, so also the whole world of people are also entering your mouth. And now he says, just like how the moths attracted to the light are entering the fire, to seek their own destruction, so is the world of people also entering your mouth for the sake of its own destruction. Because that's what he's saying. See, all of this is Vishwarupa Varnana. Arjuna is telling, Now, between these two shlokas, what we need to, I mean, there are many, many vyakhyanas, right? Many, many, many great people who keep forming their own opinion, right? Uh, some people say that one describes the Pandava army, one describes the Kaurava army. There are Nadis are sometimes looked at as Pandavas because these are the good people, and the Patangas, they are unfortunately seen as, I don't know why, but seen as Kauravas. There is some Vyakhyanakaras. But in a very, very simplistic sense, what we can see, like for example, Kiritinam Gadinam, Chakrinam. We saw Krishna to be the epitome of the ornamentation coming from Gada and Chakra. Gada is basically the Shabdatmaka Prapancha, which is the Jnana Satra, and Chakra is the Kriya Rupa Ayudha, right? There is a Cha and the Kr, Chakrati. That's the Rupatmaka Prapancha, which is basically Kriyamana, which is all the karma yoga driven. So, in simplistic sense, there are two types of people. This is what we had heard from Krishna also at the very, very beginning. Lokesmin Vividha Nishtha. There are Karma Nishtha people and there are Jnana Nishtha people, right? Uh, the Nadis, they they look so nicely karma yogi. They are very happy. The way they are, their life is. They are very very happily moving around. Their life looks so much of fun, whether they pass through the valleys, whether they plummet down the waterfalls. Somebody visits the Jog Falls in Karnataka. I mean, that's such an amazing sight. There are four streams. All four streams have a different characteristic to them. Raja, Roarer, Rocket, Lady. One has grace of a lady. One has the rocket, the sharp shooting stream. One is a Raja, very, very majestically falling. One is a roarer, he's just making a lot of noise. But all of them are so happy to fall down to the bigger stream of the Sharavati river. Like, irrespective how they come and flow, the rivers look so karmanishta, atmans. Like, they look so nice. And even as a karma yogi, whether we are a karma yogi, at the end of the day, we have to reach that one Bhagavan. We will enter that Bhagavan. Or whether we are Patanga. Patangas are the ones who seek light. I am the moth who just wants to share the light. And Jnana yogis are typically the ones who seek light, right? Yatheidham si samidhoknihi bhasmasat kurute Arjuna. The Jnana does the bhasma, right, of the karma, of the prarabdha karma, of the sanchita karma. The jnana is the one that does the bhasma. So patangas are the ones who are seeking the jnana, and in seeking the jnana, they just get themselves burnt into ashes. They completely burn themselves into ashes, which is their karma. Karma is basically prakriti, right? Their prakriti, their prakritika, bhautika amsha gets completely shed into ashes. I'm not implying that they get mukti out of it, but they just signify that whether we get to the path of karma yoga, like the rivers. At the end of the day, we will become one with the Bhagavan. Madbhavayopapadyate, right? Whether we get properly in the path of karma yoga, nishkama karma yoga, brahmanyadhaya karmani, sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyatena sapapena, right? So when we give up all our sangha and keep engaging ourselves in nishkama karma, we will eventually end the Bhagavan. And in entering that sthiti of Bhagavan, there is not much of physical deformation we have to go through. Like, this is where when we see the siddhis being their bodies are preserved. All the great siddhis in our paddhati, in our sanatana system, siddhis, their body is never cremated in the fire. The cremation happens normally with the burial of the body, and with certain. So the nadi, when it enters the river, sorry, when the nadi enters the samudra, the ocean, the physical structure of the river does not change. It remains in the same liquid form. It remains the same water, but it becomes one. That stillness happens to its movement, right? it's come the all the vega is completely halted. So even as a karma yogi, at one point in time we will become one in that paramatma sthiti, that brahmi sthiti. Or whether we are the jnana yogis, keep on seeking light, light, light. In that path also we will burn ourselves into ashes. Our physical deformation happens. Our basically the burning into ashes there, what patanga signify, is basically basmasat kurute arjuna, something that we heard in the fourth chapter. All the karma of our life, jnanagni sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute tata. This jnanagni will completely burn down our ashes, our karma into ashes. So the two shlokas of the previous one and the current one, when we look at them together, I think it's a beautiful depiction of what is the end state of a karma yogi and the jnana yogi. It's the same. They both enter you. I have seen both of them entering you, O Krishna, O Bhagavan. No, some like the Nadi, Mahabahavaha Ambuvegaha Nadaya, Nadi, and some like the Patanga, Samruddha Vegaha Patangaha, Nashaya Pradiptam Jwalanam Vishanti. They enter the blazing orb of fire, which is in your mouth. Both are in your mouth. Because all of these things, Vitatah Brahmano Mukhe, all of Evam Bahuvidha Yajnaha, all these various, this is what we have heard in the fourth chapter. All of these various types of yajnas are eventually being played out in the mukha of the Bhagavan. So we don't have to really worry whether it's the karma marga or the jnana marga. At the end, we are all entering the same one Parabrahma. I think that's what I see, with these two shlokas. But nonetheless, for this particular shloka, number 29, let us see what Aurobindo says. Uh, as a swarm of moths with ever increasing speed fall to their destruction into a fire that someone has kindled, so now the nations with ever increasing speed are entering thy jaws of doom. Now, doom could be a bad word, but nashaya. Nasha, again, chaturvidha nasha, right? Anityatva, dehahani, dukkha prapti, apurnata. So here, basically, the dehahani is what we need to see. Nashaya. So this deha is being given up. We keep modifying. Right? Vasam sichirnani yatha vihaya, navani grihnati naroparani. So once we give up this old nasha, bharita vasa, which is the cloth, which is completely destroyed, which is our body, navani grihnati, we will take up a new one. So that's the nasha, deha hani. Right? So with that, we move on to the next one, shloka number 30, Harihi Om. लेलिह्यसे ग्रसमानः समन्ता लोकान् समग्रान् वदनैर्ज्वलद्भिः तेजोभिरापूर्य जगत्समग्रं भासस्तवोग्राः प्रतपन्ति विष्णो लेलिह्यसे ग्रसमानः समन्तात् लोकान् समग्रान् वदनैर्ज्वलद्भिः तेजोभिरापूर्य जगत्समग्रं भासस्तवोग्राः प्रतपन्ति विष्णो. Let's see the padacheda. लेलिह्यसे ग्रसमानः समन्तात् लोकान् समग्रान् वदनैः ज्वलद्भिः तेजोभिः आपूर्य जगत् समग्रं भासः तव उग्राः प्रतपन्ति विष्णो. हे विष्णु, that's the अन्वय. हे विष्णु, समग्रान् लोकान् ज्वलद्भिः वदनैः ग्रसमानः समन्तात् लेलिह्यसे तव उग्राः भासः समग्रं जगत् तेजोभिः आपूर्य प्रतपन्ति. He's calling him, hey Vishnu. Vishnu, right? Vishnu, this is the second time in the entire Gita. Uh, Krishna has been called as Vishnu. And this is the only time, right? Vishnu. And both these expressions are coming in the same section. In this conversation from Arjuna only, both the and Vishnu is basically Vyapta in three different dimensions, the pervasiveness in three different dimensions, right? Vishwam Vishnu is what we begin this entire Vishnu Sahasranama, right? When we start Vishnu Sahasranama, Vishwam Vishnu. So the Vyaptatva of Vishnu compared to the Vishwa. Vishwa is the worldly pervasiveness, the entire physical space. That's the Vishwa. That's also got the Vish, which is the Vishanti, Pravishanti. Right? So Vishnu is basically that pervasiveness in three different dimensions. The the Kalati Tattva, he is beyond time. Deshati Tattva, which is the Vishwa, which is beyond the space, and Gunati Tattva, beyond the characters, the qualities, right? And that is why in this current uh, illustration from Arjuna, in his explanation, we see that Ananta Bahu, Aneka Bahu, Bahu Udara Vaktra Netram. Aneka, Ananta, Bahu. We saw three different times. He's calling Krishna, you are the one with, Ananta Bahu, Daravaktra Netram, Aneka Bahu, Daravaktra Netram, Bahu Bahu Rupadam. All of these things, Bahu Udaram, Bahudam Karalam. We saw that coming in three different shlokas. Right? Once he calls it Bahu, once he calls it Aneka, once he calls it Ananta. And he's calling the same, he's describing the same Bahu, the shoulder, the Vaktra, the face, the Udara, the stomach, the Netra, the perception, the organ of perception, right? He's describing all. Basically, he's describing them in those three dimensions. Like, one is the Kalati Tattva, one is the Deshati Tattva, one is the Gunati Tattva dimension. Now, the second time he is calling him Vishnu. Soon after the third time, the very next, Dhritim Navindami Shamancha Vishnu, right? That's the one that we saw, I think, shloka number 25, 26, right? We saw that. This is the second time he's calling him, Hey Vishnu, right? Lelihyase, right? This is so Samagran Lokan Jwaladbhi Vadanaihi Grasamanaha Samantat Lelihyase, Hey Vishnu. तव उग्राह भासः समग्रं जगत तेजोभिः आपूर्य प्रतपन्ति. Couple of times he is telling apurya, right? Let's see what it means. We'll click on dictionary. Hey Vishnu, oh Vishnu, he's calling him because he's seeing it's beyond description, right? This is where we have to bring in that ati tattva, beyond kind of an expression. There is very limited that the words can talk about the Bhagavan. Hey Vishnu, samagran lokan ज्वलद्भिः वदनैः ग्रसमानः. Okay, swallowing up this samagra loka by your jwaladbihi vadanaihi, by your burning mouths, by these multiple mouths of yours. Bahu Vaktra, right? Aneka Vaktra, right? He's got many, many mouths which are all blazing in fire. Through these mouths that are blazing in fire, you are swallowing up the entire nations, all the worlds, multiple worlds. He's just not talking about one world. Lokan, Bahuvachana, many, many lokas. You're swallowing them up, gobbling them up, taking them in. That's what we heard, right, in the previous shloka. Tatha Tavami, Naraloka Viraha, Vishanti Vaktrani, they're all entering you. So, and then Lelihyasi, you're also licking them. Samantat Lelihyasi. Samantat is from all possible directions, from all possible ways. You are licking them. Lelihyasi. Lehya. We have something called the Leha, right? Chavan Prash is also called Leha. Leha is something that is lickable. Lelihyasi, you're licking them, just like how somebody licks the jam. Leha is like a jam. Leha. So Lelihyasi, you're licking them, like you. this is the graphical illustration provided to us by Arjuna. Okay, as the world is entering you, you are just consuming them all. You're just gobbling them up, and you are also licking them, like hey Vishnu, like this is the description we see from Arjuna. And tava bhasaha, and your illumination, your radiance, your luster, samagram jagat. Okay, this entire jagat, tejo bihi, by with your blaze of energies. Okay, tava ugraha bhasaha, with your fierce lusters, and with your radiance, this apurya samagram jagat, this entire jagat being filled up with the teja, pratapanti, not just tapanti, prakrishtata tapanti, like, in an amazing way, they are getting burnt. See, tapas is the endured, like, being subjected to extreme stress. They are not just tapanti, they are perspiring, they are getting burnt is one way. So apurya pratapanti, by the teja, by your teja. Okay, so basically he's explaining, oh Vishnu, you're gobbling up this entire stream of various lokas that are entering you, and not only that, you're also licking them, like, taste, like, you're enjoying the taste of it, and in your ugra radiance, this entire jagat, is getting filled with this perspiration, through your blaze of energies, through your light. So basically, Krishna is telling that, the entire world, no matter how much perspiring it is into, they just enter you, and you're gobbling them all up, and you're also enjoying the taste of it. That's what he kept on telling Arjuna. Kept on telling Arjuna. Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha. I am the bhokta. I am the one who is consuming it. I am the one who is enjoying it. See, bhokta, when we do the bhojana, it's not just swallowing. There is a dish called the ragi ball, ragi mudde we call it, that you just gobble up. But most of the things that we enjoy as food, right? We not only consume the food, we also enjoy the taste of it. There is lip smacking, like, finger licking good. These are the expressions we use, right? For describing good taste, good food. We just not consume them, we also enjoy the taste. So Krishna is being seen doing the same thing. He is not just consuming the yajna, the various activities of the lokas, and also the people once they give up their body, right? Like the patanga, like the nadi, like, he's also enjoying it, lelihyase. And through your tejas, through your ugra bhasa, through your blazing fierce luster, the apurya samagram jagat pratapanti, this entire world is perspiring in deep tapasya, I mean deep endurance, right? That's the expression we can see. But let us see what Aurobindo interpretation says. You lick the regions all around with your tongues, and you are swallowing up all the nations in your mouths of burning fire. All the world is filled with the blaze of your energies. Fierce and terrible are your lusters, and they burn us, O Vishnu, right? Again, on one side there is a literal translation to these, on the other side there is also allegorical interpretation of this. Basically, all of these activities in the world, right, this is all yajna. If this is all part of this yajna, they all enter the Bhagavan's mouth, including our life, this, with this momentary bodily possession. At the end of the day, they are all playing one small bit part role as part of this mighty yajna, and everything, including these bodies, eventually enter him. Right? That could be a little more, well-rounded understanding, the way I could, simplistically put it. Again, just an attempt, right? Leshatah vakshami. We can only speak a little about, all these statements. Over a course of time, with multiple word by word breakdown, we have to let these thoughts, assimilate, settle down. We have to keep contemplating upon them. We can't say, okay, this is the realization. It's just an attempt at putting these thoughts into words. And again, these words are very, very futile. They are not very, very effective, right? We should let these thoughts settle down inside our minds. That dharana, upadharaya. This upadharana is something that we keep hearing from Krishna throughout Bhagavad-Gita. Internalize these thoughts, do dhyana, meditate upon these thoughts, slowly, make them internalized. That's something that we need to do, right? So let's go to the next shloka now, shloka number 31. Harihi Om. आख्याहि मेको भवानुग्ररूपो नमोऽस्तु ते देववर प्रसीद विज्ञातुमिच्छामि भवन्तमाद्यं न हि प्रजानामि तव प्रवृत्तिम् ओ विष्णु आख्याहि मेको भवानुग्ररूपः नमोऽस्तु ते देववर प्रसीद विज्ञातुमिच्छामि भवन्तमाद्यं न हि प्रजानामि तव प्रवृत्तिम्. Okay, let's see the padacheda for this. Akhyahi me kah bhavan ugra rupaha namaha astu te devavara prasida vijnatum ichhami bhavantam adyam nahi prajanami tava pravrittim. I think there is only one sandhi here. Ko bhavan. Kaha bhavan becomes ko bhavan. Namaha astu, namostu. I think, yeah, there is another one. Two sandhis in this, but yeah, very simplistic shloka. We will put these words in a proper sentence, right? That's where we see Anvaya. So he's still called Vishnu. Hey Vishnu, me akyahi, ugra rupah bhavan kaha. Hey Devavara, te namaha astu. Prasida, adyam bhavantam vijnatum ichhami. Hi tava pravrittim na prajanami. Right? What does it say? Akhyahi, me akhyahi. Explain to me. Akhya. Akhya is Vyakhya. Commentaries are called Vyakhyanas. Akhya. Akhya, sir, explain to me, declare to me. Bhavan Ugra Rupaha Kaha. This Ugra Rupa of you. Who is this? What is this Ugra Rupa of yours? Explain to me. This Ugra Rupa. Who are you? Hey Devavara. Devanam Vara. The Shrestha. Vara is great, right? Ooh, the greatest of the devas, te namaha astu, let everything be going down to you. I bow down to you. Te namaha astu. Namaha, see, again, we have to understand one thing. There is a symbolical namaha, which is basically we do the folding of the hands, we do the sashtanga pranam, where we put our entire body down. But that symbol basically represents that, all that I do is for you. Like the Sashtanga Namaskara, Shirasa, Manasa, Urasa, Vachasa, Padbhyam, Panibhyam, Janubhyam, my head, all my thoughts, my walk, all my speech, my Urasa is the chest, the heart, all my, desires, Vachasa, Manasa, all my, mind, my Panibhyam, all my actions, all my Pada, all my movements here and there. So te namaha astu, let salutation to be for you, literally means that, yes, we normally understand that to be folding the hands. But basically what it means is that, all my actions are now for you. Prasida, bless me, grace, provide your heart's grace to me. Turn thy heart to grace, which is basically bless me. May prasida tu, like, bless me. Bhavantam adyam vijnatum ichhami. I want to understand you, who are the Adya, who are the primordial being. Vijnatum ichhami, to understand, I desire. He definitely, indeed, for tava pravrittim na janami. I am unable to make sense of your pravritti, of your workings, of what you are. I think Arjuna now is basically looking at, the progression, right? He wanted to know how should one contemplate upon you, right? We got to know that the eight different forms of the Parabrahma, karma, adhyatma, brahma, adidaiva, adhibhuta, all of these things, adidaiva, adhiyajna, all of these are essentially the Parabrahma, the eight different form of the Akshara Brahma. That's why the Omkara is also constituting eight parts, right? We spoke about that. And then, in what different ways, in what different bhava should I contemplate you, should I think of you? We saw the Vibhuti Rupas. Now he's showing the Vishwarupa. Now Arjuna is getting lost again. I am unable to make sense of what I am seeing. Now the whole world, in its Shabdatmaka form and the Rupatmaka form, they're all entering you happily and you're enjoying it all. Right? And you are the Bahu, Bahu Udara, Bahu Vaktra, Bahu Netra. And now he's telling, O Bhagavan, O Devavara, Akyahi, explain to me your Ugra Rupa. Who are you in this Ugra Rupa? I would like to understand more about your primordial self. Adyam Bhavantam Vijñātum Ichchāmi. And I am unable to understand your development, your progress, your pravritti Rupa, because now he's completely spread out, right? Let's see what Aurobindo says. Declare to me who you are that wears this form of fierceness. Salutations to you, O great Godhead, Devavara. Turn your heart to grace, Prasida. I would know not, I would know who you are, I would want to know who you are. Bhavantam Adhyam Vijñātumichchāmi. I would want to know. I think there is some mistake here. I would want to know who you are and who was from the beginning, Adyam, for I know not the will of your workings. Nahi prajanami tava pravrittim. There are some small tweakings we may have to do, otherwise it will not make full sense. But nonetheless, a beautiful translation on this website. Okay, now I think Arjuna is posing the next question to Krishna, which most likely we will see another Bhagavad Gita. There are many Bhagavad Gitas, right? So the next three shlokas are another set of quick Bhagavad Gita we will see. Right. With that, we move on to shloka number 32. So another small Bhagavad Gita is coming our way. Right, three shlokas. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kalosmi loka kshayakrit pravriddho lokan samahartumiha pravrittah ऋतेऽपि त्वां न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे ये वस्थिताः प्रत्यनीकेषु योधाः कालोऽस्मि लोकक्षयकृत् प्रवृद्धः लोकान् समाहर्तुमिह प्रवृत्तः ऋतेऽपि त्वां न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे येव स्थिताः प्रत्यनीकेषु योधाः. Let's see the padacheda first. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kalaha Asmi. That becomes Kalosmi. Lokakshayakrit Pravriddhaha. Lokan Pravriddhaha. Lokan becomes Pravriddho Lokan. Lokan Samahartum Iha Pravrittaha. Rite api, that becomes Ritepi. Rite api, Ritepi. So Purva Rupa Sandhi. Ritepi Tvam Na Bhavishyanti Sarve Ye Avasthitaha. Similarly, Ye Vasthitaha. Ye Avasthitaha becomes Ye Vasthitaha. Prati Anikeshu Yodhaha. I think there is another Sandhi. Pratyanikeshu is basically Prati Anikeshu Yodhaha. Prati Anika. Anika is basically every group of 1/10 of an Akshauhini Sainya is Anika. I think that keeps getting missed out. Couple of times in the Bhagavad Gita, Anika, they are not giving a proper meaning of this. That happens with many translations. But nonetheless, let's see what the Anvaya sounds like. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Loka Kshayakrit Pravrittaha Kalaha Asmi. Iha Lokan Samahartum Pravrittaha Asmi. Asmi can be added multiple times. Okay, basically, Loka Kshayakrit Pravrittaha Kalaha Asmi. Iha Lokan Samahartum Pravrittaha Asmi. Ye Sarve Yodhaha Prati Anikeshu Avasthitaha Tvam Rite Api Na Bhavishyanti Sma. Right? Na Bhavishyanti. What does that mean? We click on dictionary. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Bhagavan says, right? Lokakshayakrit pravriddhaha kalaha asmi. For the destruction, lok ke kshaya karne ka pravriddhi kal hu main. I am that kala, who has come forward okay, who has taken the huge stature, pravriddhi, okay, for the sake of destroying the entire world. I am the one who does the destruction of the world. And that pravriddha kalaha asmi. I am that kala who's taken a huge stature, pravriddhi. Right? See, very interesting. In the 10th chapter, he calls himself as Kala twice. No, Kalaha Kalayatamaham. Of the things that do Kalana. Kalana, Kalayati. Kalana, we spoke about that, right? At that time, that, anything that leaves an imprint, like, Kala, artist leaves an imprint. Kala, time also leaves an imprint, the time stamps of every activity. We have the time stamps that are, so kala chedane, kala is also in chedana, in the destruction, in cutting. Kala jnane, the one that leaves an imprint of the knowledge. No, that kal dhatu, the root of the word kal. No, we saw that, kalayatam kalaha, among the things that leave an imprint, I am the kala, I am the time, he says. And another time, another instance in the same 10th chapter, he says, Ahameva akshayah kalaha. I am the indestructible kala. The kala in itself does not have any destruction, right? But now he says, Kshayakrit pravriddha kalaha aham. For the sake of the destruction, the one that has progressed forward, proceeded forward, I am that kala. Kala doesn't have akshaya, so he doesn't have akshaya in itself. Ahameva akshaya kalaha. But for the lokas kshaya, I keep the pravriddhi. I take forward, I come forward for the sake of lokas kshaya, right? And in that there is an imprint created. Kale jnane, kala jnane. That's also kala, kalayati. Right? There is also jnana created in that. Asmi. So for the question in the previous shloka from Arjuna that, I want to know, I am unable to know your developments, I am unable to understand your workings, I am unable to understand, make sense of who you are, what are you up to. Krishna is telling, I am the Kala, I am the time. Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu is what we say, right? In the Vishnu Sahasranama. In the Vishnu Sahasranama, we also call him Vashatkaraha. That's another very beautiful expression, Vashatkaraha. Vashatkaraha is the expression to the Bhagavan because he brings forward 6 different kinds of activities. He's the one who brings in the birth of people, Jayate, Srushti, like, Jayate, Asti. He's the one who takes care of the existence, like, but he's also the one who brings in the Vriddhi. Like, that's why he's the Pravriddha, Vardhate, growth. Vriddhi is basically growth. So he is the one who brings in the birth. He is the one who brings in the existence, the maintenance, sthiti, asti. And he is the one who brings in the growth. He also uplifts us, like, vriddhi, like how Nadi, we saw that, right? Nadi begins with the droplets of water coming from the condensation of the mist. Mist is coming from the cloud, right? And few droplets, more and more droplets. So when we look at Vishnu Sahasranama, right, the Vashatkara, basically there is uh, the 6 forms of his being. Like, there is Jayate, Asti, Vardhate, Parinamate, Apakshiyate, Mriyate. These are the 6. Basically means that, the one that brings the birth, the one that takes care of the existence, the maintenance, the one that brings the growth, no vriddhi, the one that brings the downfall. We also, after, see, we were born as, our birth begins with an embryonic cell, one cell. So the 3rd month scanning, when we go to the scanning, right, the existence is just a flash of light. It's nothing beyond that. The Bahavaha Ambu Vega Nadi Nadayaha Nadyaha, like that's what we saw, right? In a couple of shlokas earlier. The nadis are also like that. They all come from few droplets of water, coming from the condensation of the mist. Mist is coming from the cloud, right? And then few of those droplets join hands and they start flowing down as small streams, rivulets. And then more and more such rivulets join hands and become river. And more rivers, small, small rivers become the big river, and then they finally enter the ocean. Similarly, we start off as, very small, tiny cell, embryonic cell. Then we become the fetus, the embryos, the fetus, and small baby. When we come out, we are barely what, 2 kilos, 3 kilos. Three is a very healthy baby. Three and a half is like massively healthy baby. Right? 3.5, 4 kilos is, maybe overweight for a baby, right? But from 3, 4 kilo, we just grow in size, right? Vriddhi. After attaining a peak around the age of 40, 42, 45 is where we hit the peak of the vriddhi, right? And that is the point at which we start reversing. We start growing weaker and weaker. Apakshiyate. Like that's where we start decaying. And then we finally end up in death, mriyate. So this kshaya and vriddhi are the upalakshana for all the six actions that happen. He is the one who brings all the six. He is the one who brings the pravriddhi. He is the one who brings the kshaya, and he is the kala who brings that kshaya. And and interestingly, when we look at that word vashatkara, none of these things affect him. He is aja. While he brings the janana for everyone, Janma Mrityu, if you're looking at some Artha Chintana of this, Janma Mrityu Jara Atigaha, he's beyond all of this. Janma Mrityu Jara, he's beyond all of that. Nothing, none of these things will really affect him. So he is Akshaya Kalaha, and but he is the Kshayakrit Pravrittaha. He is the one who brings him. So there is no Vriddhi needed for him, there is no Kshaya needed for him, right? He's beyond that. Basically, with this line, he's explaining that he's that Vashatkara expression comes very, very nicely. He is that Akshaya Kala, who is also Jnanadayaka, Kala Jnane, Kalayatam Kalaha. He is that Kala who is Kalayatam Kalaha and also Akshaya Kalaha. But he is now the same Kala who's also come for the Kshaya of the Loka, and he's taken advancement to that extent. So, ahameva pravruddha kalaha lokakshayakrit asmi. And lokan samahartum pravruttaha. And I have also come forward pravruttaha for the sake of lokan samahartum. Hartum is, ahartum is okay for destroying. But samahartum, he's come to basically create the balance. There has to be balance, right? Once in a while, equilibrium need to be established. No dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge, he says, right? I keep coming again and again for restoring the balance, the dharma balance of this. So lokan samahartum is not basically killing, of destroying, to create the balance. Right? Samahartum iha pravrittaha. I have come here for the sake of restoring the equilibrium. Basically, he's telling that I will always take care of the equilibrium. Right? Uh, the more and more sand castles we develop, we build, at the end of the day, it has to become flat. The beach, after 2 3 days of no human activity in a beach, the sand in a beach is always leveled out, very very flat, because that's the natural course of action. The kala, the akshaya kalaha, in this instance, which is the samudra, it keeps coming and washing it, and then kind of making it all very very flat. Samahartum, samahartum, I will bring that equanimity, that equilibrium, state of balance again. Pravrittaha, I have taken no that pravritti, like that I have risen with a will. Ye sarve yodha, and all these warriors, prati anikeshu, in every anika, in the opposing armies is what this website says, but it's not necessarily the opposing armies. Okay, in all the armies, okay, avasthitaha, who are ranked, who are situated in every anika. Anika, as I said earlier, is 1/10 of a akshohini. 10 anikini makes one akshohini in every. And basically one anika is basically what one athirathi will take care of, typically, under his command. So in every anika, all the yodhas, Tvambrite api, with or without you also, na bhavishyanti sma, they will not remain. This is one of the very powerful shlokas, in terms of understanding Bhagavad Gita. Time doesn't wait for anyone, right? The opportunities don't wait for anyone, right? If somebody misses on developing the AI, somebody else will create. If Amazon is still trying to tell us, oh, you bought this earlier, please buy the same thing again. Would you be interested in the same thing again? They will be left out in the market, in the race. Whether you do it or not, somebody will do it. Like in most of our organizations, we will be given an opportunity. We'll say, okay, can you please lead this initiative? We will be contemplating, oh, should I do this? Should I not do this? In the time we wasted on contemplation, somebody else would have taken it, and somebody will do it, and it will happen, right? So whether we want to do something or not, things will happen. Somebody will ask me, Bharataji, can you help me explain this shloka of the Gita, right? I will say, "Oh, should I explain? Should I not explain? Will he be okay with my explanation? Will he make undue advantage of my explanation? Will he have some vested interest in knowing from me and then making use of it elsewhere? I will be deep rooted in this unnecessary thought process. In the meanwhile, he would have approached somebody else, and somebody else would have given him the clarification. Somebody else would have taught him Gita, right? My child would have asked me, "Can you teach me this, Papa?" Right? I will be wondering, should I teach her? Should I not? Should I teach him? Should I not? And things like that. That child would have found the answer through some means. Maybe go to Google and things like that. So basically, what he's telling is all these yodhas in every Anika Sainya who are situated in their different orders and ranks, with or without you, they will not remain tomorrow. They are done. They're I am the one who is the Akshaya, who has come forward for their Kshaya, for the sake of the Kshaya of the Loka, to restore the balance. Samahartum, Lokan Samahartum. I have taken this birth, this life, for the sake of restoring that equilibrium in this creation. And all these yodhas in every Anika, with or without you also, they will not remain. Time will not wait for anyone. If you have to take up something, take it up. If you want to wait for Christmas, only activities that are deemed fit for Christmas will happen then. What was meant to happen today is gone, right? I can't have today's breakfast tomorrow. Tomorrow's breakfast will be tomorrow's breakfast. So the time will not wait. I may physically refrain from having food today, but when I have the food tomorrow, that doesn't remain today's food. It will become tomorrow's food, right? So none of the activities will wait for us, right? Whatever, this is why it's called the karma. This prakriti itself is a karma, right? The nature, the world, the actions, the duties do not wait for anyone. They keep happening. Whether it's our duty to be part of it. See, all of these things are very beautifully described when we do the Ratha Yatra of any temple. That is the beautiful depiction of how this world should operate. When the Ratha Yatra happens, we should all count ourselves to be immensely blessed if we give our hand as part of the pulling of the chariot. And there are many, many people who keep standing as bystanders. Like, there are others who pull the. If everyone were to think that this is how it's going to happen, right, then the Ratha will not move. Fortunately, that is not the case. The world will move. Ratha will move. Those few people who gave their hands are the blessed lot. They got a chance to be part of it. And while pulling the chariot, nobody says, "Come, come, come, join hands, come, 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 join hands." You will never see this happen in any Ratha Yatra. If people were to think, "Let somebody call me, then I will go." There are many, many people who are in the tentative behavior, right? We all want to be introduced to the girl. We will never propose. Such behaviors are like that. We will never take the charge upon ourselves. Like we want somebody to invite us. Hey, please come, join hands. No, we will go. Many of us are in that mindset. Whether we want to be part of it or not, things will happen. And that's exactly what Krishna is telling. I am the Kala. I have come forward for the destruction of this world. Destruction is basically part of the progress. It's a natural course of action after janana, after vriddhi, after astitva. That apakshiyana is a natural course of action. and mriya, no, the marana is a natural course of action. All of these are natural courses of action. I have come here, I have taken advancement for the sake of the balance of the world, and I have come here for the destruction of the world. Okay, with or without you, none of these yodhas in every anika will remain. That's precisely what Krishna is telling. So, what need to happen will happen. It is up to us to decide whether we want to play an active role in it or whether we want to be bystanders in it. No, around it. Now, if we are bystanders, we have just failed to act upon our duty. If we were to actively partake, we have done our, 2 cents of worth of the work as part of this entire yajna. Because at the end of the day, all of this is part of the yajna, including pulling the chariot of a temple is a yajna. No, put your hand, no, go forward, try to play as much. We might say, I might not even hold the rope. I might just be barely be able to touch the rope. Be it, do the best we can. Just put your hand, because at the end of the day, the time is not in our hands. It is moving, it is fast moving, and the time is akshaya, but the time in itself is come for the destruction of the world. It is constantly destroying the world. More and more people are dying, more and more people are getting old. As many people as possible are also growing, are also being born. More and more people are also decaying, more and more people are also dying. Tomorrow will not remain. Right, what I miss today is a miss forever. Tomorrow's is a new activity. Like ritepitvam, with or without you, ye yodhaha na bhavishyanti, none of these warriors will remain. The act of doing, the chance of doing, the opportunity to act is gone forever. Right, let's see what Aurobindo interpretation says. The blessed Lord Bhagavan Vacha said, I am the time spirit, destroyer of the world, arisen huge stature for the destruction of the nations. Even without thee, all these warriors shall not be, who are ranked in the opposing armies. Opposing, because I think it's an interpretation coming from what comes in the next shloka. Because he tells Arjuna to get up and fight. So he can only fight with the opposing armies. But he doesn't say that. Opposing army or not, even from our own army, none of the people will remain. And that's what exactly happens at the end of this Kurukshetra war. No one remains. All the Yodhas are dead. Right, so it's not just opposing armies. I would rather correct that part. Who are ranked in every army, every anika, every formation. Anika is one small subset of an army. Right, it's 1/10 of akshohini. It's called anikini. Okay, so basically the essence of this is the time doesn't wait for anyone. That's a very, very important essence of this particular shloka. No, when we have to perform our duty, no, it's not tomorrow, it's now. Right? That's the most important aspect of the time sense. I think these three shlokas are essentially Bhagavad Gita from a time sense perspective. Right? That's the most important aspect. Okay, with that we move on to shloka number 33. Harihi Om. तस्मात् त्वमुत्तिष्ठ यशो लभस्व जित्वा शत्रून् भुङ्क्ष्व राज्यं समृद्धं मयैवैते निहताः पूर्वमेव निमित्तमात्रं भव सव्यसाचिन्. Okay. तस्मात् त्वमुत्तिष्ठ यशो लभस्व जित्वा शत्रून् भुङ्क्ष्व राज्यं समृद्धं मयैवैते निहताः पूर्वमेव निमित्तमात्रं भव सव्यसाचिन्. The padacheda for this shloka is Tasmat Tvam Uttishta Yashaha Labhasva Jitva Shatrun Bhungshwarajyam Samriddham Maya Eva Ete Nihataha Purvameva Nimittamatram Bhavasavya Sachin. It's a beautiful shloka, right? So we will put these words into a proper prose order. Right? Anvaya reads like a prose, like proper sentence. Tasmat Tvam Uttishta Yashaha labhasva shatrun jitva samriddha rajyam bhungshva ete purvameva maya nihataha he savyasachin nimittamatram eva bhava. So there are a couple of sentences, three separate sentences. Let's see what they mean. Right? Tasmat, therefore, tvam uttishta, please get up. You please get up. You please arise. Yashaha labhasva, gain some glory, gain some success. Shatrun jitva, winning the enemies, samruddham rajyam bhungshva, enjoy the opulent kingdom. Ete purvameva maya nihataha. All these people are slain earlier only by me. He Savyasachin, O Savyasachi, Nimitta matram eva bhava. Be only an incidental instrument. Nimitta matra. Nimitta matra is the occasion, or nimitta is basically incidental. You just play an incidental role, right? All these people are slain by me earlier only. You please play your incidental role. Slay them in that act. Okay. Enjoy your kingdom, gain some fame, right? Play that incidental role, get up and fight. Whenever we see the word uttishta, yudhyasva is what we need to understand. Please also get up and fight. Tyakto tishta parantapa. Uttishta is something that we keep hearing again and again. Uttishto tishta. Get up and fight. So basically, Krishna is saying, Tasmatvam uttishta, therefore you get up and fight. Yashaha labhasva. This is the message for all of us. The time doesn't wait for anyone, but the time has also decided the fate for everyone. Whether I decide to teach my child or not, the child will learn what it has to learn. So the fate of the end picture is already decided by the time. Whether I play a role in discussing Bhagavad-Gita in this clubhouse or not, Bhagavad-Gita will be discussed in clubhouse. There is no doubt about it. I can perhaps play my nimitta role, get up and do my role, and in the interim, I will gain some little bit of fame. I have a quite a good amount of considerable amount of following, right? There are some people. Sometimes I get scared also. Sometimes people give me more than due respect, right? Yashaha labhasva. So we need to play, and time doesn't wait for anyone. If there was a requirement, when 10, 20 people kept on asking me, Bharataji, can you take us some lessons on Bhagavad Gita? Had I contemplated endlessly, what if I give away my knowledge and people people make money out of that knowledge? I will not get anything. I can get into unnecessary thought processes. If I were at the end of the day, this Bhagavad Gita is not mine, right? This is a 5,000-year-old knowledge. There are so many people who can speak about this. If I were to think that, oh, I can speak so nicely about Gita, I am something special, maybe that realization is very, very late. I am just one of them. There are so many more realized people. Some speak, some don't. So many people have become sadhus, siddhis in their own life. So if I keep contemplating into unnecessary lines and defer endlessly about discussing about Gita, somebody else will do it. Some other Purushottama Yoga would have become famous with some 2000 odd people following it, and some other person would have got some bit of yashas. Some yashas is glory and also success, right? Yashas is essentially success, right? Yashaha labhasva. So had I thought in those lines, somebody else would have taken the space and then gained some fame. Instead, I did this, and maybe I decided, okay, let me play a nimitta role. Because again, this is not my words, right? This is Bhagavan's words. Through the eons of paramparas, where so many great Bhagavatas have spoken about all of these things. Everything that I'm speaking are not mine. So many different people have spoken about this, right? I am perhaps only reflecting one part of it, and not to in a very good way. I keep looking at a website for better coherence of the thoughts and things like that. And this I that I'm referring to is all of us. Whenever we have something to do, if we decide not to do, right? If we decide too much about should I do, should I not do, and things like that, somebody else will come and do. The opportunities will not wait. The kala will not wait. But rather, if I get up, right? Yashaha labhasva, I will get some fame, right? Some initiative in our organization, anyone who carries it out, that person will gain the fame, that person will gain the bonuses, the increments, and things like that. If the first person who it was offered to, if he contemplates a lot, second person will get the opportunity. But anybody who delivers on that opportunity will get the yashas, will get the fame and the glory. will achieve the success. Jitva Shatrun Samruddha Rajyam Bhungshva, and also enjoy the Samruddha Rajya. Samruddhi, right? Samruddhi is basically opulence. And also some Riddha. Riddha is also truth, the Sattva. So you also enjoy the Sattva. And Rajya kingdom for a Kshatriya, of course, in a in a in a in a literal sense for him, for Arjuna, it's the Arajya. But Rajya comes from Raja, right? Of a Raja is Rajya. Without a Raja, there is no Rajya. And Raja is somebody who is Ranjayati, who brings in the delight. And Bhungshwa is basically digest, consume, enjoy, consume the delights, the delightful things. We all have delightful things to enjoy in life, where we only focusing on becoming the nimitta. It could be the love of the daughter, love of the child, when we teach them something nice, when they are in doubt. It's about clarifying some doubts to somebody. Their love and affection itself is a delightful thing for us to enjoy, right? The promotions, the increment, all of them are delightful things. The society needs some help. I will say, see, I can easily do that work, right? Society wants some help in creating, say, setting up a WhatsApp group. I think 10 of us in this group can easily create a WhatsApp group with different settings and things like that. But we will be like, should I do? It's an easy thing for me to do. Hardly takes 10 minutes. Okay, taking everybody's phone number and setting it up. There are some people in my community who perhaps don't know that, know how to do a new group and things like that. Let me be a nimitta role. If I keep contemplating, why should I do? Should I do? What will I get out of it? And all that nonsense. The old people, the senior citizens will approach somebody else will do it. So what needs to happen will happen. But if we play that nimitta role, the incidental role, without much thought around it, we just do it for the sake of the Bhagavad Arpana, right? We will gain some fame. We can enjoy some delightful things in life. Samruddham Rajyam Bhungshva. And ete sarve maya nihataha purvameva. All of these end eventualities are decided by me. They are also already done by me earlier only. In this instance, it's the killing of the Shatrus in the war for Arjuna. All these enemies are already killed by me. Okay, hey Savya Sachin. Savya Sachin is that multi-dexterous. Savya Sachin is basically the ambidextrous nature of a person. He can do it in both the hands, in the right hand or the left hand. So he's an ambidextrous guy when it comes to the skill. Hey Savya Sachin, nimitta matrameva bhava. Be just an incidental role play. And this precisely what our role is in life, right? When we look at dharma as the sole purpose of our living, we will only become nimitta. We will only become the incidental role players of what we are supposed to do. As my vritti dharma goes, or shishya dharma goes, or bhartru dharma goes, or bhrata dharma goes, or pita dharma goes, or putra dharma goes, or guru dharma goes. We have multiple dharmas that we need to lead in our life. In everything, the end outcome is already decided. We just need to decide whether we can play that nimitta role and enjoy a little bit of yashas and the samruddhi, that opulences, that rajya, that delightful things. Let's see what Aurobindo interpretation says. Therefore, tasmat arise uttishta. Get yourself some glory, yashas labhasva. Conquer thy enemies, shatrun jitva, and enjoy an opulent kingdom. No, samruddham rajyam bhungshva. By me and none other already even are they slain. Yo, purvameva maya hatamste. Do thou become an occasion, the occasion only, the incident only, the incidental player only. Okay, O Savyasachin, nimitta matrameva bhava, O Savyasachi. That's a very beautiful. So basically, the time doesn't wait for anyone. Play your incidental role. In that, you have success to enjoy, delightful things to enjoy. The end outcomes are already pre-decided. And that's basically what the two shlokas say. Shloka number 34, we look into Dronam cha Bhishman cha Jayadratham cha Karnam tathanyanapi yodha viran Maya hatam stvam jahima vyathishta Yudhya.
Bhartaji, your voice broke again. We can't hear you.
Is it audible now?
Yeah, now it's audible.
We have to start Shloka number 34,
Yes.
right? Okay. Okay, Sloka 34. Dronam cha Bhishman cha Jayadratham cha Karnam tathanyanapi yodha viran Maya hatam stvam jahima vyathishta Yudhyasva jetasi rane sapatnan. Right? Dronam cha Bhishman cha Jayadratham cha Karnam tathanyanapi yodha viran Maya hatam stvam jahima vyathishta Yudhyasva jetasi rane sapatnan. The Padacheda reads very similar, right? Dronam cha Bhishman cha Jayadratham cha Karnam tatha. So Karnam tatha becomes Karnans tatha. Karnam tatha. Tatha anyan. Tathanyan. Anyan api. Yodha viran. Maya hatan tvam. Maya hatan tvam. Maya hatam stvam. There is a small sandhi. Sakara agama. Sakara agama. Hatan tvam. Hatan stvam. Maya hatan tvam. Jahi. Ma vyatishthah. Yudhyasva. Jeta asi. Rane sapatnan. Jeta asi. Jeta asi. Let's see the Anvaya. Dronam cha Bhishman cha Jayadratham cha Karnam tatha anyan api maya hatan yodhaviran tvam jahi. Full stop. Ma vyathishtaha yudhyasva rane sapatnan jeta asi. What does that mean? We click on dictionary. Dronam cha Bhishman cha Jayadratham cha Karnam. Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, and Karna, right? Api, Maya Hatan, and also all the ones that are slain by me, Yodha Viran, all the other Yodha Viras, Yodhas and Viras, the heroic fighters. Tvam Jahi, go and slay, you slay them. Tvam, you slay, Jahi. Ma Vyathishtaha, don't be pained or troubled, don't have Yatha. Don't have yatha, don't have the pain or the sorrow. Yudhyasva rane, rane yudhyasva, fight in the battle. Sapatnan jeta asi, you have already conquered all your adversaries. Jeta asi, you have done it. You have conquered them. See, he's basically now he is giving a upasamhara, right? He is now giving a debrief. Like, after telling the time doesn't wait, you be an instrumental role play, nimitta matra, incidental role player. Now he's telling Drona, Bhishma, Karna, Jayadratha. Look at these four beautiful people, right? All of them have some amazing vara pradana. Jayadratha has some amazing army. Like even for the Rajasuya Yaga, he told, "Don't go to Jayadratha. Right? Don't go to Jayadratha." Right? When Pandavas wanted to do the Ashwamedha Yaga, Krishna was showing Jayadratha. Look at Jayadratha. You will not be able to overcome him. You will not be able to take him kneel down for you. Right? Don't go for Ashwamedha. It's very difficult. Go for the Rajasuya Yaga. That's much better. Ashwamedha is very difficult for you. Right? So Jayadratha has a very massive army, some 23 Akshohini Sainyas or something like that. Now Karna is got the Surya's blessing with the Karana Kundala, right? Kavacha Kundala. He's got that earring, the chest guard. No, nobody can pierce through him, right? So, and then you have Bhishmacharya, who is again very varapradayaka. Like, he's got the Icha Marana kind of a thing. So in our life also, many a times we have this thought. Well, it's easy once to think that we will all be instrumental role play. I will be a nimitta matra, like Bhava. Okay, beautiful. Oh Bhagavan, yes, I will agree to you. I will become nimitta matra. But very next moment when we are faced with a very difficult situation in life, And every difficult situation seems like impregnable difficult situation. Like how do I fight with Bhishmacharya? He is infallible. How do I fight with Karna? He is impenetrable, impregnable. How do I fight with Jayadratha? He's got the biggest army around him. I just can't defeat him. Now, how can I fight Dronacharya? He is the guru of all these people. I mean, look at the Kaurava army, Pandava army. Everybody is trained by Guru. Like, the same Guru, Dronacharya, be it Drishtadyumna, be it Karna, be it Duryodhana, be it Arjuna, Bhima, anyone. Look at both the sides of the army. The Guruji is Dronacharya. How can you fight your own Guru? Right? Many a times our difficulties are not in shortage, right? There is no short supply of difficulties. That's why dharma acharana is like a tapasya in itself. It requires great amount of endurance and great amount of workmanship, right? It's not easy. Like, you have to swallow too many bitter pills on the path of dharma acharana. So it's very easy, right? Oh, time doesn't wait for anyone. Thumbs up. Yes, Krishna, I agree. No, nimitta matram bhava. Yes, Krishna, I agree. But suddenly when difficulty comes, seemingly impregnable, impenetrable, infallible kind of a difficulty, stands in front of us. And at the face of it, most of the difficulties seem like it. Oh, AI is taking away so many jobs. Somebody in their 40s, 50s, suddenly lose their job and still having so much of EMI, commitments and things like that. Suddenly the life becomes extremely difficult to manage. Like, you have a wife, marriage, and suddenly the marriage seems to be in troubled waters. Like, no, oh, there is no way out for me. Like, many situations appear like that. Now he is telling whether it's Bhishma, all these impregnable, impenetrable, infallible kind of situations also, Maya Hataha, they are all taken care by me. You go and fight. And also other Yodha Veeras also, they are all taken care by me. And that's what he saw, right? Dronam cha Bhishman cha, Suta Putra Sathasau. Like, I have seen all of these people entering your mouth. That's what Arjuna had seen earlier. Now Krishna is telling, whether it's Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Jayadratha, anyone, I have taken care of all of them, including other Yodha Veeras. Tvam Jahi, you go and as a Nimitta Matra, you go and fight them and slay them. Yudhyasva, go get up and fight. In this Rana Bhumi, you have already won all your adversaries. Just go up and fight, get up and fight. Now, look at the three shlokas together, right? One, the time doesn't wait for anyone. B, we have to play our incidental role and achieve the fame and play that nimitta role no matter what kind of an adversary is seemingly standing in front of us, whether it appears to be impregnable, infallible, indefeatable, whatever it looks like, get up and fight. That's the only thing we have to do, right? Bhagavad-Gita is all about this. Do your nimitta role, offer everything for the sake of Bhagavan, the big picture. In the interim, enjoy, because this Maya, this Prakriti, no matter how futile it appears, temporary it appears and things like that, it is Manomayi. It can be experienced through the Manas. It can be discerned by the Manas. Manomayim, Vidhi Maya Manomayim is something that Krishna tells Uddhava. you know Grihyamanam. It is, as much as it is Nashwara, it is also Grihyamana. It is graspable. We can always grasp this life, and in grasping the life, we can gain some yashas, and we can enjoy some delectable, delightful things. Samruddham Rajyam. So the three shlokas together are one essential life lesson, given by Krishna from the perspective of time, because time doesn't wait for anyone. Arjuna has been asking a lot of questions, right, all this while the central theme of all the teaching so far has been get up and fight. So time sense is very, very important. Well, nonetheless, let's come back to what Aurobindo interpretation says. Slay by me who are already slain, be it Drona, be it Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, or any other heroic fighter. Be not pained, ma vyatishta, and troubled. Fight. Okay. Thou shalt conquer the adversary in the battle. Not shalt, you have already. Jeta Asi. You have already conquered all your adversaries in the battle because they are already slain by me. A small, I think, correction. I'm not saying mistake, but I think, yeah, Jeta Asi basically is you have already won over. Asi is the Latlakara, right? Asti is the Latlakara. Asi. You have already won them all. So this is a beautiful end of one round of Bhagavad Gita. This is perhaps the 11th round of Bhagavad Gita or the 12th round of Bhagavad Gita or the 12th Bhagavad Gita, because this is Bhagavad-Gita. So when we say at the end of every chapter Bhagavad-Gita, so there are many Bhagavad-Gitas in this. It's not just one Bhagavad-Gita. So every Bhagavan Vacha is one Bhagavad-Gita. It's one complete life lesson for us to become a yogi. And these three shlokas beautifully give us that sense of time. Time doesn't wait for anyone, right? Time has already decided the end outcome. We all have to play our incidental role, no matter what kind of an impregnable, infallible, indefeatable difficulty seems to be standing in front of us. Right? That's the simplest message. It's 9:37 by my watch in India. 7 minutes exceeded the time compared to what we ideally allocate. So this is basically 8 o'clock to 9:30 is where we look at the study the word by word breakdown, verse by verse, letter by letter, break down the pratipadartha dissection of the shlokas. So we pause here. We adjourn for today. We commence from the next shloka, shloka number 35, next Saturday onward. We have as many times as possible. Next week, we will continue from the 35th shloka. That section, I'm sure next week we will have 36th to 46th. Shloka number 36 to 46, my favorite section of this chapter for sure. And one of the very favorite sections where it's another Bhagavad Gita coming from the Shishya. The 11 shlokas coming from Arjuna is basically essentially his understanding of the entire Bhagavad Gita teaching so far that we will hear. That's the way I see it. Please to come. Some of the best expressions of bhakti coming our way in those 11 shlokas. Let's do some Artha Chintana around those 11 shlokas. Very beautiful. I mean, we will see where exactly Arjuna stands after what we saw from the first chapter, where he was completely morose, giving up. Na yotsye, I will not fight. Yadyapyeti, like, if they come and, tanme kshema taram bhavet, if they come and kill me, that's what I count to be great. To what he is now going to say, right? From shloka number 36 to 46, we will see some very beautiful expressions of bhakti and also a little bit of bhaya, a little bit of fear from him. And we will make sense of what is the bhakti all about, what is the bhaya all about. We will try to make sense of that next week. And also, please spread the word about this club. All we are trying to do is get the foundation right, get the fundamentals right on Bhagavad Gita. All that we do is every day we come and chant. And once a week, we look at the word by word breakdown and try to remain true to the context of the Bhagavad Gita. We try to tick and tie of the conversation within what was spoken earlier. We are not taking much of references from any other scripture. We are not really trying to say what Kataka Upanishad says, what Shvetashvatara Upanishad says, what multiple different Vedic lines say. We will try to keep that as minimal as possible, but we will try to make sense of the contextual messaging coming from Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And that is where we keep referencing back and forth within the Gita. Look at what earlier chapters have said. Right? That's what we are trying to do in a very, very honest attempt. But again, notwithstanding the fact that every attempt at dissecting Gita is only a little bit of the ocean that Gita can be. Right? It's only a little bit. We can't do the complete dissection of the Gita. So with that firm conviction, with that firm belief, we will continue the journey. Tomorrow morning onward, we will have a new round of Bhagavad Gita chanting that will happen. Look at the club bio. Every day there is a guided chanting room that happens where we try to help each other get better with our ability to recite the shlokas with as much vak shuddhi as possible, the clarity of speech as possible. And once a week, every Saturday, 8 o'clock to 9:30, we try to look at the word by word meaning of the Bhagavad Gita shlokas. So with that, if there are no more thoughts, Shraddhaji, Sudhaji, Vijayji, Vishwanathji, shall we close the room? Okay, on the reverse count of three, please join me in a small Jai Ghoshti in the name of our Gita Charya, Bhagavan Sri Krishna. 3, 2, One, Namaste Vasudevaya Preyasa me Priyottama Samastaguna Sampurna Nirdosha Nandadayine Mukopi Yat Prasadena Mukunda Shayanayate Raja Rajayate Rikto Raghavendram Tamashraye Bharati Ramanamukhya Prana Tarata Shri Gopala Krishna Priyatam Shri Krishnar Pranamastu. Have a beautiful Sunday, everyone. Have a beautiful week ahead. Jai Shri Krishna.